has 142 billion cedis in total liabilities at the end of April.
On the international front, this evening, Africa records 43% rise in COVID-19 deaths in the last 1 week, according to the World Health Organization. We'll bring you details of these stories, plus more, including sports and entertainment, in the next 60 minutes. Stay with us. Remember, we're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Let's connect now. And Parliament has approved $28 million as car loan for 275 members of Parliament. Now, the House has also approved some $13.36 million as tax exemptions for the MPs and Council of State members to purchase these cars. The Finance Committee's recommendation for a discontinuation of the car loan for members of Parliament has also been approved.
The impression is created as though the 275 members of Parliament of this House are here just for ourselves. We need to reassure the good people of this country that it has never been about ourselves.
If the four-wheel drive is a luxury to some members of Parliament, I say that it is not a luxury to others. It is not an idea of us being admonished that we should demonstrate that we love the people of this country. That is our responsibility. Let's see that in our action. But I want to caution myself and caution our colleagues. When the cameras are before you, don't try to play saint. When the cameras are before you, don't try to pretend to be who you are not. Because we know the conduct of everybody. And if we begin to question the conduct of people, I really don't think that that is what the people of this country want. With this, let me challenge you and challenge myself that I agree that we should demand, don't give us any car loan.
Meanwhile, an economist and director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Korte, has proposed the designation of a pool of cars for members of Parliament to save the taxpayer and government in a cost-effective manner. He does not support the argument that the MPs' vehicles should be acquired by the state.
I think we could pay them well, give them car maintenance allowance. You can also create the opportunities for them to go for individual loans if they want to buy their vehicles. But in addition to that, we could have a car pool. When the vehicles are in the pool, as and when you need to travel to your constituency, you can request with a driver and then you visit your constituency. But where you need your private vehicle, the opportunity has been created for you to buy your vehicle and maintain.
Professor Peter Korte further suggested that the government uses a cost-effective approach and best practices.
We learn from the West. You will find that the MPs are well paid to go for a loan. They are paid well enough to buy whatever vehicle they need. And if they have to travel, they use public transport. So you even find the president traveling by public transport. You find ministers, MPs traveling by public transport because they are quite efficient. They are okay for travel. Unfortunately, our public transport system is challenged. There are some areas where MPs come from that they cannot access using public transport.
He disagreed with calls for government to resort to local assembly plants to acquire the MPs' vehicles.
I don't know to what extent they produce the kind of SUVs, the Land Cruisers, that are robust for some parts of the country. Some MPs come from areas that require very robust vehicles, and if whatever is assembled now cannot meet the specifications, then perhaps they may have to import.
The Ministry of Finance is requesting a tax waiver of $13.38 million for the purchase of the 275 vehicles for the MPs and members of the Council of State for the period 2021 to 2024.
Well, that over $13 million tax waiver has now been approved. Also, bear in mind that the state is taking up 60% of the $100,000 for each MP. So we're paying $60,000 out of the $100,000 for 275 members of Parliament. That's raised a lot of questions. But Let's still stay in Parliament. The Health Minister has justified his decision to ignore the advice of the Attorney General in seeking parliamentary approval of the purchase of the Sputnik V vaccines. He was answering questions before Parliament's Vaccine Probe Committee. Kwakwajima Menu says the exigencies of the time did not allow him to seek parliamentary approval.
It's simply saying it is unable to supply. And as we speak, per this letter, there is no contract.
The implication, that is so. They are not just terminating yesterday. After we have signed the contract, they gave us 2 weeks to supply the first 300,000 we ordered, based on our ability to give them letters of credit as part of the terms of the agreement. Our letters of credit delayed, and it got to them sometime. Then they came back after they have confirmed that they had run out of stocks. So Russia was going to supply them more stocks, and they will supply us within 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we inquired, and they said they still hadn't got the supplies. So we started engaging them that if that is the matter, they should permit us amicably to withdraw from the contract so that we can do something different to find vaccines for ourselves, because our faith in them to supply was winning. So we continuously started pushing pressure on them. They gave us July delivery, and it's like we have been pressurizing them to give us the vaccines to no serious avail. And then yesterday, they said us, actually they gave us verbal invitation, verbal notice that they will not be able to supply any longer. And so we requested that they then terminate the agreement, which they had actually done. So as we sit here, I believe there's no contract between the two of us.
Away from Parliament, government has come under fire from the Trades Union Congress over its international contractual agreements and negotiations. The Secretary General of the TUC, Dr. Yauba, at a seminar in Accra, insisted on value for money and reminded government such deals should be in the interest of Ghanaians.
We have very experienced negotiators in this country who can negotiate for us. Why don't we use them? Why don't we use them? If you look at the VRA agreement in the 60s, at some point they have to be reviewed. Professor Kasoa was the leading person there. We got a better agreement, the Valco agreement, the Newmont agreement. All these things were negotiated by Ghanaians. But if you look at the others, you wonder if we don't have the expertise in this country to negotiate good agreements. And one of the reasons Ghana is where we are today, with so many poor people, people cannot even have power. When we have excess power, how can we have excess power? We don't need any additional power until 2027. Why should a Ghanaian sleep in darkness? It's something that is very difficult to explain. If we have all these resources, gold, that we have been mining for 120 years plus, why should Ghanaians, especially those who live in the enclave, suffer poverty? Why should 6 million Ghanaians get up and go hungry because they don't have money to buy food? This is our imagination. And these things, you know, it's not only the trade unions who should fight it. Civil society organizations should come together with us. And I think with that kind of force, we will create that political will and things will change for Ghana.
Well, so let's go to the Western region. A story that's developing by the minute, quite worrying. The Jasehine of the Apinto Divisional Council in the Western region, man you see on the screens that Dr. Nana Adakwa Bediako III has reportedly gone missing. Now, this comes few days after a relative whose name has been giving us Kakra allegedly threatened to kill him. After being informed about the threat, the chief, together with his chief linguist, reported the case to the police in Takwa. Understand his driver later called to say that the chief's car had been parked with all his phones intact in front of a savings and loans company. That's the information that we're getting now, and that's the developing story as we have it. Quite a worrying development now, and we want to get updates on exactly what's happening because this matter has been reported to the police in the area, and we get information that indeed a search has been launched to find and get to know the whereabouts of this chief. Let's go live to the Western region, speak to the municipal chief executive for Takwa in Shaem, and let's get the details. Mr. Kese, good morning, good evening to you. Thank you for your time this evening. Well, this is the information that we're hearing about the Jasahene going missing. Has the police given you any updates so far on their search for him? Hello, Mr. Benjamin Kese, good evening to you. Unfortunately, we'll try and reconnect with Mr. Benjamin Kese. He's the Takwa Nsiem Municipal Chief Executive to give us updates on this. But this is the developing story we're following very closely. We'll give you updates outside when we get it. But Mr. Kese is back on the telephone. Let's see if we can connect with him now. Mr. Kese, good evening to you. Can you hear me now?
Good evening, good evening.
Great. Now, so with the police investigations into the whereabouts of the Jasahene, has there been any updates to you?
Yeah, as we speak, rumor has it that he says he's coming, but we have not seen him. I mean the security agencies, and for that matter, we have not seen him. But it's in the rumor mill that he says he's coming.
It's been rumored that the chief says he's coming.
No, yeah, that's what they are telling us. But you know, it remains a rumor.
But what's the source of the rumor? Who heard? I mean,
somebody just you know, claimed he had a call and he says he's coming, and it's everywhere.
He had a call from who? The chief?
But when you call his lines, it's the same story. But in fact, he left the phones in the car. So the phones are with the Pinto Chamene. So when you call, it's the same person that picks.
No, that's right. That's what we know, that he left his phones in the car. So who made the call that he is coming?
It still remains a rumor. Somebody said he rather called him. And he said he's coming. And it's everywhere. That's what everybody's saying.
No, I get it.
The police, myself, and the BNI, we have not received that call. So that's why I said it's a rumor.
Well, I get it. But you are the MC. You are working. In fact, you are the Municipal Security Council's chair. So a rumor like this, if somebody says he made a call, whose phone did he make the call to? Because the chief's phones, all his phones are in his car. He wasn't kidnapped with his phone.
Well, that is what I'm saying. I said we cannot base on this to say Nana is coming. But if you call Takwa right now, that is the information out there. So they say he's coming or he's coming. But I'm telling you, we have not received that information. So we cannot confirm that he's coming.
I see. So
it's in the rumor mill.
Right. So what steps are you taking now that this rumor?
Yeah, we now have the Kakra guy who threatened the chief in the custody of BNI. The driver of the chief is also in police custody, and the search is on. The police. I just left the office of the divisional command, and the search is on. In fact, I even had to convey a music meeting this afternoon. So every wing of the security apparatus is on the alert, and we are doing our best to at least get Nana back alive.
I see. Mr. Kese, I thank you very much for this update this evening. He's the Municipal Chief Executive for Takwa, just giving us updates on this developing story. We'll stay on it in our subsequent bulletins, get to see if the chief eventually shows up, as we're hearing. Portia.
Away from the Western region, Anofakwa District Court has directed the police to ensure a bail of indictment is obtained from the Attorney General's office in the matter involving 2 teens alleged to have killed an 11-year-old boy for rituals in Kasoa. The court, presided over by Eric Oheneba in Isiako, also granted the police's request to keep the accused, Nicholas Kinney, and the juvenile, Felix Nyako, in custody for the 2-week period until the next agenda date.
Chief Inspector Charles Annable, representing Chief Inspector Ernest Agbo, the prosecutor in this matter, told the court that they got communication that the bill of indictment from the Attorney General's office was ready. However, that was yet to be served on the police, and so they pleaded with the court to grant some 2 more weeks for the police to be able to receive the bill of indictment from the AG's office. The court, presided over by His Worship Eric Oheneba in Chibuisiako, granted the police a 2-week extension to be able to receive this particular service. However, family of the murdered 11-year-old say they are not enthused about the pace of the processes so far. Sameda Kalilu is spokesperson.
Our role now is to help the state to ensure that other persons who want to perpetrate similar heinous crimes learn bitter lessons, and it looks like we are going through a theater of continuous emotions and punishment, because the more the case is dragging, the more the family is investing a lot of emotions and a lot of resources, time and everything, and we do not think that that's in order.
He says the expectation of a family is that in 2 weeks, when they return to the Ofako District Courts, the bill of indictment would have been made ready and set on the police, so this matter and the trial proper can begin.
We think that 1 month was too much enough time, that today we'll be hearing a different story. But what can we do? We are under the state. We just plead that in 2 weeks when we come, we should hear a good news that the finality is brought. At least the case is moving to the High Court.
Hearing of the matter has been adjourned to 29th July 2021.
Let's stay a bit further in Kasoa. For the 4th time in a row, the Criminal Division of the Accra High Court is unable to empanel jurors for the case where one Eric Kojudia and one other are standing trial for the murder of 2 police officers. Presiding Judge Justice Elfrida Denchi again told parties involved in the case the court is finding it difficult getting jurors for the trial to commence. Here's a report by Godfrey Tanam.
Justice Elfrida Denchi assured lawyers in the matter jurors will be empaneled during the next sitting. Before she expressed the difficulty of the court to empanel jurors, she indicated she has been told there were some journalists in the courtroom and proceeded to ask them to stand. While the journalists who were there to report on the matter were on their feet, she ordered none of them should be seen writing in her court. She stressed they can only observe proceedings but cannot record by writing. Before the order was given, police officers in the courtroom had already warned journalists who were from TV3, GH1, Daily Guide and GBC not to be seen writing or typing on their phones. The police officers proceeded to tell the clerk of the court about the presence of the journalists, through which the judge was informed. This is a matter where the accused Eric Ojudia and Michael Safueni have been charged for killing 2 police officers, General Lance Corporal Mohammed Awal and Lance Corporal Michael Jamasi, on the Kasoa Bujumburam Accra stretch in August 2019. Last year, the police was advised by the Attorney General to formally charge Eric Ojudia with murder and Michael Safueni with abetment. Eric Ojudia is accused to have shot and killed 2 police officers on Kasoa Bujumburam stretch in August 2019. The case has been adjourned to July 28.
Away from the courts, the seeming decline in HIV and AIDS education has been attributed to the sharp rise in cases among the youth. As at December 2020, 42,000 young people between the ages of 15 and 24 have been confirmed as living with the condition, but stigma is preventing many of them from accessing care. Komla Adom in this report interacted with some young people.
Really talk about sex. Has your parents ever talked to you about sex? Okay, me, my mom.
These young students are not part of the 58% of persons living with HIV who know their status. Like many other Ghanaians, they may not be concerned much about the 77% who received sustained antiretroviral therapy. The AIDS Commission revelation that more than 42,000 young people between 15 and 24 years were living with the virus as of December 2020 is worrying.
So if our parents are to educate us on sex or the adolescents, reproductive health and all that, I think we wouldn't be where we are now.
It's very possible that someone around me might have, HIV, but feels very shy or feels afraid of the stigma.
They are clear in their minds why these figures continue to soar.
One of the days where you're going to have sex with someone, you need to think about it before you do it. But of late, it's normal.
It hasn't really come to mind that maybe I have it or someone close to me has it.
But who is to blame?
You might look weird to tell your partner, oh, let's go get an HIV test before, we do anything.
You do not need to go far away to know there is a surge in sexual encounters among young people, and the use of emergency contraceptives has also shot up.
They will tell you that, well, I'm not in a regular relationship, so I don't have sex regularly, even though that might not be the case. The convenience of it, its availability, the cost, I think amongst other issues are driving the youth towards it.
While the sex counts go up, the AIDS Commission is worried stigma is preventing young people from accessing care.
Even when they are diagnosed as having HIV, are not on treatment because of stigma. Carrying the medications to school, sometimes for those who are positive, taking daily pills becomes a problem.
My friends want the conversation around HIV and AIDS to be normalized as a way of dealing with the discrimination.
We should have some connection with our parents for us to be open to them and explain things to them in our lives. If not, our friends will continue to mislead us.
Well, health experts have spoken about how to normalize the testing of HIV and AIDS in the wake of increasing numbers of new infections among young people. Today I've come to the Patholab Medical Laboratory to get myself tested. A few jitters here and there, but fingers crossed.
I have been briefed about what this entails, but I am up for it. Does not seem to me like a big deal at all. The wait can get anxious sometimes. After at least 12 minutes, the results were ready.
The test results is non-reactive, meaning that you don't have it.
In the event there is an opposite of this result, what would that mean?
With that, we are not just going to give you just one result like this, reactive. We'd have to do a confirmatory test.
The health experts are advising us to walk into medical facilities and get tested. The earlier you know your status, the better. Even if you're positive, you can live a fulfilling life, even with HIV.
Kamala Dome facing his fears and overcoming it. It's earlier to know, yes, and take precaution. But let's go to our earlier story. Let's go back to the Western region, because it appears that rumor of the Jasa Hene of our Pinto Divisional Council in the Western region, earlier story of he going missing, and the MC, you just heard him saying there's a rumor that he is coming back. The man you see on your screen there. I've been joined on the telephone by Nana Kwabena Kobu II. Nana Kwabena Kobu II is the linguist to the Jasa Hene of the Apinto Divisional Council in the Western region, Dr. Nana Adakwa Bediako III, who went missing. He joined me on the telephone for an update on this. Nana, good evening to you. Hello, Nana, good evening. We lost him. We'll try to raise him back. Because we're getting some updates right now. We want to confirm it from the linguist to the Jasa Hene who was reported missing. Now, we're getting information right now that the chief, the Jasa Hene of Apinto, is back. He has been found. We want to confirm this. And his linguist was actually with him just before he went missing. That's the information we got earlier. So that's why we're trying to raise him back on the telephone. But I think now we have Nana Kwabena Kobo II, who is the linguist to the chief who went missing. Nana, good evening to you. Hello, Nana, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, Nana.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, fine evening.
Okay, we understand that the Jasihini of Apinto, who was reported missing, has been found.
The good news is that as I'm talking to you now, if you can hear the background, our Jasihini is back. It's in my house right now, and the youth are jubilating. So it's here that we are asking what happened. It's not explaining everything to us. So the short of it is, thank God, Jasihini is back safe with us here.
I see.
That is it.
What, has he told you where he was? What happened to him?
Hello?
Has he told you where he was? What happened to him?
It's narrating his story.
He's still narrating the story.
I think tomorrow will be a press release for all of you to hear. We just want to take the time to rest. Tomorrow morning, we will do that.
Okay, that's fine. But this is a story that has gained national attention. So I just wanted to find out if he told you where he was.
Come again?
I just wanted to find out if he's told you where he was.
Yes. I'm saying that let us make it tomorrow. He's not narrating the story. I can't be coming out with a short stories.
Okay.
Let him finish all that he as I'm talking to you. It's talking to us. So let me finish hearing whatever that is in details one, and we'll bring it out for all of you to hear.
Okay, but Nana, where did you find him? Where was he found?
Come again?
Where was he found?
I can't hear you, please.
I'm asking, where was he found?
On the Takrady Road.
On the Takrady Road?
Yes, on the Takrady Road, from Takwa to Takrady Road.
I see. Was he in a vehicle or just by the roadside?
We want them picking with a vehicle. I'm saying that let me finish his story. We'll bring it out.
Okay.
With due respect to you, please.
I thank you. And that's the good news that we're hearing now. So that's confirmed. The Jasihini of the Apinto Divisional Council in the Western Region, Dr. Nana Adakwa Bediako III, who was reported missing, he's been found on the Takrady Road. He's been found, brought home. The details of where he was, what happened to him is still being gotten from him. We'll bring you those details in our subsequent bulletins, but that's the development story to this particular one. But away from this, 1 week after the commissioning of the Pokwase Interchange, drivers have begun blocking the part of the road, quite unfortunately, the speed lanes to pick passengers while some pedestrians cross the highway instead of using the footbridge. My colleague Nancy Vokania's report indicates that the situation could be worse if the police and personnel of the National Road Safety Authority had not been stationed there to sensitize road users on safety regulations.
According to personnel of the National Road Safety Authority, non-compliant road users will be sanctioned after the sensitization period.
We should enforce our laws, because when the enforcement comes in, then people will be deterred from committing some of these offenses. But then for now, because it's a new facility, we have to educate as road safety, because that's one of our mandates. So after some time, then we move in with the MTTD to ensure enforcement itself.
This woman, who said she was frightened of the height of the footbridge, was refrained from crossing the highway. Personnel of the Road Safety Authority told us many pedestrians comply only because of their presence.
Definitely we cannot be here throughout it or every time of the day. Even as we are here right now, as soon as we move from here, you see people will be crossing the streets without using the footbridge, which is against the law.
The 4-tier interchange linking 10 kilometers of adjoining arterial roads is expected to improve mobility on the Accra-Nsawam section of the Accra-Kumasi Highway and reduce road accidents and fatalities by 40%.
In more news tonight, the BBC has announced the appointment of HR consultant Irene Asari as the HR director for the BBC News Board. Irene Asari's most recent role was with Talo Ghana as director for business strategy. She is a business leader whose 20-year corporate experience covers Africa and Europe with a focus on strategy, organizational change and human resource management. Irene Asari has overseen the fundamental transformation of main organizations across Europe and Africa, holding leadership roles with Vodafone Ghana and Standard Bank, and was awarded the Institute of Human Resources Practitioners Star Award in 2017.
The South Africa High Commission in Ghana has also strongly condemned the acts of violence and looting in the country. A press release signed by the South African High Commissioner to Ghana said the sporadic violent protests in some parts of the country go against everything they stand for as a nation, adding its government is doing everything to ensure the safeguard of its citizens and protection of property. It attributed the ongoing violence in the country to criminal elements attempting to ruin the country's reputation. The statement further elaborated police have been deployed to restore order and ensure that no one undermines the rule of law, adding the South African National Defence Force has been deployed to support operations of the South African Police Service, while the South Africa's National Security Council is meeting twice a day to coordinate all efforts to restore stability.
You're watching News 360 live from the News Hub here at Adisa Wikanda. We have business news coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Mama Josie.
Fe. Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Choco toothpaste.
Happy smile.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat 2. I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop!
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Hello there. We know what matters today, don't we? Hurry up. Follow safety measures. Drive for hours. Grab a perfect spot. Park smoothly. And then visit another shop and scroll for the opportunities. Tap to pay. Enjoy that extra reward. Get 10% extra cash back when you pay with Visa. How you pay matters.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful.
Cleansoft, my favorite.
Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
Time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma, yeah. Believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma, oh yeah. Clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we start the Puma, oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma, let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Kasoa.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Puma insecticide spray and coil.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights, Lufat.
Hello again, it's now time for the latest in the world of business. Let's first begin from the Bank of Ghana, where total liabilities recorded by the bank as at the end of April amounted to 142 billion cedis. This when compared to the 115 billion cedis liabilities recorded at the end of 2020 represents an increase of 26.9 billion cedis in the bank's liabilities.
Per the data contained in the April statistical bulletin released by the central bank, the bank's liabilities on a year-on-year basis increased by some 36.4 billion cedis, as liabilities recorded by the central bank at the end of April stood at 106 billion Ghana cedis. In the banking or financial services space, liabilities is often viewed as an asset and not debt because a major component of a bank's liabilities are deposits made by customers, which the bank can in turn use for credit creation by lending the monies out to other customers as loans. Of the liabilities posted for end April 2021, domestic liabilities accounted for 36 billion cedis, with foreign liabilities accounting for 29.8 billion cedis. Other liabilities, the bank noted, accounted for 53.3 billion cedis of its total liabilities. Deposits from government, 26.1 billion cedis, accounted for the majority of the regulator's domestic liabilities, followed closely by some 9.7 billion Ghana cedis, deposits also made by the various commercial banks in the country. Deposits from public institutions formed only 289 million Ghana cedis of its liabilities. Regarding foreign liabilities, the Bank of Ghana did not give a breakdown of the items that constituted its foreign liabilities, but the figure stood at 29.8 billion cedis. In terms of its total assets, foreign assets held by the central bank at the end of April 2021 amounted to 56.8 billion cedis, from the end of December 2020 figure of 43.5 billion cedis. Items that made up the central bank's assets include special drawing rights with the International Monetary Fund, foreign currency and balances with banks, gold bars holdings, and foreign securities. On the domestic front, the bank's claims on government with respect to treasury bills purchased by the Bank of Ghana, as well as loans and advances made to government, amounted to 42.7 billion cedis.
In other business news, Vodafone Ghana has launched the Vodafone 2 Merge business for its customers. This product is aimed at giving customers the flexibility to create their own data and voice plans for their businesses.
The 2 Merge business offer is the latest initiative following Vodafone's new brand initiative Together We Can, intended to promote partnership between technology and society. The new product will offer small businesses affordability and flexibility.
More than any other time, this is a time when people are looking for value. Everybody is trying to manage expenditure, manage costs, but at the same time, we know it is critical to remain connected. You have a workforce of people in the field. They need to be able to talk to customers. You need to be able to talk to them, and you need to be able to do it as cost effectively as possible. But making sure that we're also supporting SMEs through this pandemic and ensuring that as much as possible they're managing their costs, more effectively. We've done this for them.
Vodafone Too Much is not a limited promotion.
We are not going to stop giving value to our businesses. We are very, very passionate about helping businesses to grow, keeping businesses connected, supporting them through all of their own growth initiatives. So we will never stop giving value.
With just 5 CDs, customers get to enjoy 600 minutes on net, 30 minutes of net, 300 megabytes data, and 500 SMS.
Well, that's it for the segment. There's more business news on 3news.com. Coming up, we have the latest in the world of sports.
Time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, yeah. Believe it, you can achieve. Puma, oh yeah. Clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we start the blessing. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Kasoa.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and just look at the day. You know you'll see things in a different way. Oh, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here.
The show was a jar of bar and a conqueror dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 malaria sententem.
FDA, I saw a dead in crap way. I just say a ye.
Should you rumor to me?
I told master, a bay yet you manamo. She's so madahati. Roma insecticide spray at that Roma. Interfere, Entatia, make a cheha. No way! Shemikuno, and Tonton Bako crown fanimo, and also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil. And how dare we a sham? Roma!
Roma and Tonton Master.
Introducing Nestle Milo All-in-One Nutrimix. The goodness of malt, milk and cocoa in Milo, and even more milk. Just add to water and enjoy the perfect cup of winning energy. Milo!
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Madam.
Akwesi, not today. No time for jokes, eh? I need to get to GRA to pay my tax before the deadline.
Auntie Goose, relax. Listen, GRA has stopped accepting checks and cash payments at their offices. GRA has gone cashless.
Cashless?
Yes.
Hey, then how do I pay?
Give me your phone, I'll show you.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has gone cashless. Now you can pay your taxes and duties to GRA online at www.ghana.gov.gh, or for mobile money payments, dial *222 on networks, or simply pay at the bank.
Oh, thank you, Akwesi. Oh, you've saved me.
GRA, our taxes, our future.
Have you heard of Eden Heights, a luxury gated residential development located in the heart of Accra West, just behind West Hills Mall? It's Accra's best kept secret, a master planned community of modern styled apartments and penthouses bearing the superior seal of grade A finishing. Eden Heights promises residents convenience, security and comfort. For an all-inclusive and self-contained living experience, Eden Heights is your best choice. You are guaranteed a wide variety of social and recreational conveniences right at your doorstep, including open green spaces, soccer pitch, swimming pools, tennis court, fitness center, playgrounds and entertainment facilities. Reserve your luxury apartment on our limited promotional offer with just 25,000 cedis. Call 050-1531-444 for more information and to book a viewing. Terms and conditions apply. Eden Heights, welcome home. And Coil.
Well, let's get into sports now. And the Ghana League Clubs Association, that's GALCA chairman Kojo Fiano, wants the Ghana Football Association and all other stakeholders to identify hot zones before every match week in order to make adequate preparations against any disorder and violence. He said this at the Maiden 3 Sports and GFA Hooliganism Forum.
Just as is done during our elections or before elections, we identify the flashpoints and prepare adequately for them. And I think that moving forward, the GFA and all the stakeholders should identify those flashpoints and make sure that a tailor-measured arrangements are made for those flashpoints. Just as Tony said, in security these days, we rely a lot on the CCTVs. I know the clubs are really under pressure financially, but I think we should have CCTV cameras at our venues.
It's going to be more on this on 3news.com, but let's go to the champions across the folks now. And the youngster with the team, Daniel Efriye-Banier, is having a good season for both club and the national team. He played an integral role in Hearts of Folks GPL title win with 3 goals in the league, 4 in the ongoing FA Cup, and also captained the national under-20 to win the AFCON in Mauritania this year. He spoke exclusively with 3 Sports what he has and actually been doing to help him improve the season.
Efriye-Banier joined Hearts of Folk in 2019 to little acclaim. These days, he's everybody's darling boy. Banier has had a great season, which has seen him become one of the key figures in Boado's team. His standout performance isn't only with the Phobians. Banier captained Ghana's under-20 to win gold in the CAF Under-20 Nations Cup. He credits his rise in form to training. He's not shocked at the level of growth.
I feel very, very great, and I'm very, very happy because it's been a while that House of Folk won the GPL, and I'm proud to be part of those who won the GPL, so I'm very happy and excited. I always wear this crowd. Yeah, I'm a tension guy. If you could remember during AFCON, the Ghana U20, yeah, I scored the final goals. And then the Wafu too, I scored the final goal. So I always want to where there is much pressure, that I will show the qualities that is in me.
After helping Hearts to end their league trophy drought, the young attacker is hoping for a successful campaign in the continent with the Rainbow Boys.
Yeah, we don't want to go just to represent it like go and then watch people. Like we always like we want to do something. We want to write our name in the history book of House of Folk as those days they did won the league. We want to do the same.
A sure target for suitors. A move he says isn't on the cards for him now.
If someone has given you an exposure, you need to appreciate what the person has done for you. So why not? I would like to work even with them with the rest of my life. But as I said, time will tell.
At age 20, Afriye Barnier has already achieved a lot for himself, including a Ghana Premier League trophy and an Africa Under-20 championship title.
Great stuff. Oh, well. Congratulations to Accra for again. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly with some more news.
Ask anyone. Okay, madam.
Madam Punchy Peach.
Why you go Punchy Peach? Kasoa Road. Now where is number 4 Enumde Avenue?
Croissant. Front right, sharp left.
Please direct me to number 4 Enumde Avenue.
Croissant.
One fire you go Punchy Peach and give me direction to number 4 Enumde Avenue.
Croissant.
Please, can you direct me to number 24 Enumde Avenue?
Keep going with the goodness of the new Fan Yogo Punchy Peach. So cool, so good.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone. Together we can.
Tonight in this segment, the World Health Organization says Africa has recorded a 43% rise in COVID-19 deaths in the last week. The WHO said Namibia, South Africa, Tunisia, Uganda and Zambia accounted for most deaths. The WHO's Africa director said this is a clear warning sign that hospitals in the most impacted countries are reaching a breaking point. Many countries lack oxygen, intensive care units and specialized staff. More than 150,000 COVID-19 deaths have been reported in Africa since the beginning of the pandemic. This accounts for 4% of deaths reported globally.
Let's do some entertainment news.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Puma Drinks.
So the Gospel 360 Africa Group has presented a citation to VGMA Artist of the Year, Dinah Hamilton, for serving music lovers with her best and making the gospel fraternity proud. Others, including renowned gospel musicians Reverend Mary Gansa, Diana Hobson, give the gifted singer a pat on the back during the period, and also urging her to keep churning out uplifting songs for the body of Christ.
We at Gospel 350 Africa congratulate you, and may God give you a big win, and you deserve this.
The gesture is to recognize Diana Hamilton's hard work and celebrate her big win at the 2021 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Aside emerging VGMA Artist of the Year, the celebrated singer has also won the Gospel Artist of the Year 3 times in a row. The citation read by renowned gospel singer and man of God, Reverend Thomas Yawson, acknowledged her contributions to the growth of the gospel brand and encouraged her to keep inspiring hope with her music. The Adom singer was grateful for the show of love by the gospel fraternity before and after her win.
The unity, the love that has been exhibited, I think I've said it over and over that it's palpable, it can be felt. And I'm really, truly grateful for the love shown by Christendom, by the gospel fraternity, by Gospel 360. And so I say thank you very much.
Big names in the gospel fraternity, including Reverend Mary Gansa and former musical president Diana Hobson, urged her to keep impacting lives with her music.
Today we are here celebrating our sister, the honor she's brought into the gospel industry, being the first female ever winning the overall artist award. In fact, this is a great honor, a great glory being brought to us, and we want to associate ourselves with her victory. So hey, we are celebrating her in grand style.
This is a big statement for every gospel artist to know that if you do your craft well, if you continue with what you are doing with your whole heart, it can get to every limit. It's a win for all of us. And I believe and pray that more anointed minstrels will win more awards for Nation Ghana.
Great stuff.
Yes, congratulations once again to Diana Hamilton.
Well, join me and the rest of the team tomorrow morning on 3FM 92.7 from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. My name is Alfred Okamsi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a lovely evening.
A daily dose of Citro C encourages healthy skin, helps boost your immune system, and helps fight colds. Citro C contains antioxidants, which slows down your aging process and make you look and feel younger, plus a lot more. Citro C promotes general good health for the entire family.
This program is rated PG. It contains scenes of brief nudity, mild violence, and strong language. Parental guidance is advised. Program